Hey everyone, welcome to Matrix Podcast. Today we'll be talking about what the world would be like if there was no music. So we definitely find this an intriguing one. We hope you guys do as well. And that would be crazy to even just think about.
Yes, it would be. What's up, everybody? It's Michael, Anthony. Again, we're back again.
Yes, we're here in the new studio.
In the new spot. I had to wear the summer clothing. You know what it is. So, I hope you guys start liking these videos and get ready because we're going to be posting very, very quick and soon.
Exactly.
All right, so let's keep going with that.
Love it. But yes, what would the world be like without music? Such an integral part of each of our lives, whether you're a music aficionado or not. I feel like it's something that so many people were brought up by, have connected to, whether it's with others or for themselves. So where do you even start with such a thing?
Honestly, like just think about it like basically, like you use music for like making breakfast, go to shower, just small things you do every single day. Imagine not having that. Usually for me it's like a boost.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
in the morning I don't want to work out really probably. But if I listen to a song with my earbuds,
You're ready to go.
It doesn't matter what song it is, I'm ready to go. It is what it is. Like with music, man, like it's like a natural like booster.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely gives you that energy, right? With whatever it is that you're doing. For me, it's big even during cooking. Throw some headphones in, you just feel like you're in your zone. You feel like you're in your space, regardless of what's going on throughout the day. Be able to kind of just settle and ground yourself with music, and that's been powerful for me. It's, but yeah, just to even imagine life itself without music, without a sense of rhythm, without melody, even any sounds that you hear when you go about your day on the streets, communicating with people, making a quick beat. For me personally, I've always just loved tapping on things, and it's just like a little knack of mine, I suppose. Just to think of no rhythm, no music at all, to even consider, to comprehend, to interpret. It's such an art form. That
Definitely would be
huge for us.
Yeah, I definitely think it's massive. So it's huge. Just like it'd just be weird. It'd just be like we wouldn't even know how the world like pretty much would be to think about because there's been music for so long.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Like even they didn't call it music. What's the word? Maybe there's just
even before the ancient Greeks started civilization.
Yeah, even that. There it is. But like pretty much, yeah. Like there's been music for so long. I don't know if we even like can think of a world when there wasn't. So it'd be hard to think really actually think of the day to day.
Yeah, really conceive of that. What that would be like without music in and of itself. It's so empowering to so many people, right? When it comes to lyricism, when it comes to just the harmony of music itself. Oh my gosh! Like I said, even if you don't play an instrument, music is such a crucial element to, I believe, everyone's life. And I feel like if there would be a way to describe it, it would be as if there was no air to life. You know, that if the air was literally sucked out of a room, the colors were stripped of their hue without music. You know, music gives just so much buoyancy to life, so much flair to it. Yeah, it's an extra bit of spice. Just think about the last time maybe you were out with a couple friends, not even out, just inside of a place, and you start bumping a track that you guys all enjoyed, something that you guys knew you would vibe to, type of genre, favorite artist, something that you guys knew that you guys would come together and really appreciate. Like, you imagine without not even at all being able to have that kind of experience, there's nothing like that about music.
Yeah, I'm literally, it's so true. If you think about it myself, like, I never really listened to rap growing up. But then, once we all started chilling, like, a lot, we used to, hang out, drive around grade 11. This is like some time ago. I started listening to rap. And then I started really loving
he was hard.
Yeah, I started loving, like, specific rappers. Like Chief Keef and stuff like that. And, I remember, like, I don't really listen to rap anymore because we don't really drive around in the cars like we used to when we were younger. But I only listen to the same rap songs and then maybe some of the same rappers that like we literally listen to. It's like more of like a nostalgia.
Yeah, you touched on a great point. The sentimental value of it all. It brings you back to memories. It literally elicits feelings that you've had in the past when you've listened to those songs. It can bring you back. It's timeless. Music is so necessary.
It does bring you back, man. That's why it's so hard for me to delete songs off my Spotify. Spotify.
Shout out.
Maybe in like a year.
Apple Music.
Yeah, but literally, like, I'll see my song and let's see, like, on the date, and it'll be like 2017, and I will literally remember, like, when I downloaded the song and how my memory was and how I felt in this time. I literally remember every single song, how I felt, like, when I was downloading it. That's why I downloaded it.
Exactly.
So,
You know, the reason why you did, like,
Yeah.
there's a whole narrative around music rather than just the song itself. And everyone can have, think about it this way, imagine an artist puts out a song, they put their life, their heart, their tears, their sweat, their joy, their everything into their music, and then everyone interprets it their own way. You know, so now this one song has turned into millions of different forms of stories for people. This is a way that we've connected with ourselves, a way that we've connected with other people, especially when you look at it as like a macrocosm, to literally gather as a full community at a stadium, at a venue, or anything like that. It's so empowering for so many people to be able to share something and come together, similar to sports in that way.
Oh, yeah,
and sports and music, I feel, share a lot of commonalities in that. But I'm also biased in that because I have such a passion for both. However, just when you see what music does in terms of the icons that have come from music, how many people it's inspired because of the personas that have been portrayed through music. Like you touched upon before we even started the episode, Michael Jackson,
Whitney Houston,
My
Drake.
gosh.
You can go on and on. There's so many musicians in other countries too that we don't even know about that are amazing, and they bring so much like just joy to everybody wherever they are.
Yeah.
Man, music is incredible. These people who are literally like worldwide, like musicians or singers even.
Yeah, absolutely global.
It like the amount of lives you could say that each of those people touched in a different way, and
Yeah.
how that person meant to them.
Have been changed due to a song, due to an album,
Yeah,
a time in their
song.
life when they've heard something, and it literally allowed them to shift, you know, from maybe having bad habits or you know, through addiction. Like music has that much power to it to really be able to change lives in such a critical way.
Man in the
For the
mirror.
better, man in the mirror.
There you
You
go.
know, it's just people really attach themselves to these certain lyrics, to the titles of some songs, and it's just been a way to transcend communication in the formal way of just of communicating maybe face to face. Music transcends that. You literally can communicate to vast audiences as if the artist, is speaking directly to that person. Again, because they interpret it their own way, so they relate it to their own experiences to cultivate this whole narrative and this whole picture, this storyline around what that music means to them. And then that doesn't just go away either, right? That can be prolonged until, you know, however long you want to be attached to that respective song.
Exactly.
So it's it just, what do you think? Do you think something would replace music if there wasn't such a thing? Like I said, like no type of rhythm or anything of the like. It's just do you think what would we attach to? What would we find as a solace for, you know, for when we're alone and we just want something to give us that beat, you know, with that upbeat, with no pun intended.
I don't think it just there's nothing else.
Yeah, we'll get
Like I don't think there would be anything else. Maybe if you say like what it would be to substitute, just be more whatever else they're doing now, more social media, more eating, more drinking, more smoking, more everything else. Just other stuff to fill up the time. But I don't think there would be this like new thing. I don't know what would there be.
Do you think there would be like this angst to figure something out as another form of expression? Because there's a vast multitude of forms of expression out there when it comes to different forms of art and like in sports and academia, whatever it is that's suited for you. But when it comes to music, I feel like that's kind of the fabric that underpins so much of it. I feel like everyone kind of has their foot somewhere in music. It's something that our brains are so attuned to. Our physiology of our brain changes when we listen to music. Sometimes we're so in sync with it. And again, expression is powerful. I believe that as humans, we're finding different ways to express ourselves authentically. You know, what's the truest version of ourselves, and that's when we come together to self-actualize ourselves, and then to be able to share that to help others, I think is probably one of the most fulfilling acts you can do. So what would that be if not music? Because music is so natural. It's not a synthetic act. Of course, we're using maybe synthetic materials here to perform music. We're just being able to leverage technology as a way to do so. But the actual music in and of itself, playing a harmony, strumming a guitar, beating a drum, singing vocally, it's just such a beautiful form of expression, where I feel it's cathartic in some ways, it's therapeutic in some ways, and I feel like there's some things that just don't hit as hard as music can.
Yeah, definitely. Like some people, they'll probably do like yoga or something like that.
Yeah.
Some people game, some people do whatever they want as they're like to wind down or whatever. Some people they like to just like guitar,
Yeah.
play piano all night or whatever it is. Maybe make music all day when they're like just relaxing or chilling. Everybody has something different, especially if you really like music and if you have like a strong affinity toward music, and if you're good at playing.
Yeah, that's
an
definitely a
instrument,
huge factor.
or you can actually sing. Like we all sing, but most of us
It
sing.
happens.
Yeah, all of us sing.
I know all you guys sing.
We all sing here, like to be honest here, but like most of us are not good.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's great wear.
Keep
Great
singing
wear.
because like that's the thing about music. It's fun. Like,
Yeah.
we love it so much, but yeah, like people that are really really good at it. That's like most of the time is like
They continue on with.
they unwind with in life with music.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like
It's like their go-to.
exactly. It's something that they use, to, I suppose, even just to center themselves, right? But I'm curious, what do you find is what act takes up the most of your time when listening to music? Like, what's the most setting? What setting is where you're most prone to listening to music for prolonged periods of time?
I only listen to music for a long time.
Oh, really? So that's kind of
I
like
can't listen to music all day. Like if I do, I have to be by myself,
okay.
or it has to be really really loud. And then I have to play my own music. I hate listening to other people's music.
What's that mean?
Like I like your music. It's not like we live together. It's not like it's like a shot here. It's like on the show.
Yeah.
I actually hate listening to people's music. No, like I like your music. I'm not saying that, but like I personally don't like to listen to like other people's most of the time because the songs that I listen to, I know the lyrics.
Yeah.
I know like how I feel about the
It's
song.
more personal.
It feels so personal.
Absolutely.
Someone else put out a song and like I don't know the lyrics. I don't even like the way that this bumps. Like
It is what it is. Type of deal. Okay, I
so
like
music
it.
for me is very like particular. But yeah, I would say working out, and if you see me on a beach, if I'm tanning, got the oil on and everything. Ooh,
Does it all?
I'm dancing. I'm
All
out
of
there.
it.
It's a good time.
Oh,
What about
absolutely.
yourself?
For me, I say honestly one of my most favorite times to listen is in the car. I absolutely love, even if I'm just by myself in the car, I just listen to my favorite songs on repeat, so no judgment there, on literally the same song over and over again sometimes because I can. And then when we did live together, and I would always drive over to your place, I genuinely enjoyed the drive over because I listen to music the entire way there, the entire way back. It was just a great time for me to kind of get out and do my own thing while listening to music. Of course, you could blast in your headphones at home as well, but just I don't know, something about it being surrounded in the car listening to it. That was an ambiance for me. That's for sure.
I definitely, man. When you're in the car, like I remember when I was driving home from work from Toronto, and I would be driving home.
Yeah.
It's only 40 minutes, so it's like a decent amount of time to like play some tracks.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was going in.
Yeah.
I had to literally come level 40.
Windows down.
Yeah. It's winter. I don't care, man. I'm like blasting, blasting in the neighborhood on the highway. I do not care.
It's just what you like to
It
do.
was so amazing. It was such a good time, man. That is true. In the car is really fun, and also why I like to do it by myself at home is because I like to sing.
Yeah.
With my headphones in.
Yeah.
So I can't hear myself,
You just hear the
and
music.
no one else can hear me.
Yeah.
So I in my head I'm like, fuck, it sounds so good.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I feel in the car.
Yeah.
Because I try to harmonize in the car, and I'm like, it's just loud enough so you don't hear me. So I'm like, I kind of sound like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of on par. It kind of works.
Then if you put the volume a little bit lower, you're like, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, your falsetto's off, but
Yeah.
maybe for some of you it's not.
Yeah, maybe for some of everybody, and not everybody has those like John Legend voices.
No,
Like
Sam Smith. Come on.
yeah, those are some wild voices, definitely. I just feel though, even just to think about it in another way about music, genuinely, like not even to think anything like this big grand like idea. Honestly, it'd just be freaking boring. It'd be so boring.
Could you imagine?
I like to listen to music even for like 5 minutes. If I'm just like bored and I feel like just lazy, I just throw on a song.
It's literally entertaining.
I'll move up and then I'm like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
You're in the groove.
Like I'll just need one song and I'll know what song I'll need and boom, in and out.
Music, it's like a way to groove with life itself. If life is its own entity, music is the connection. That's something that I
like that.
yeah
Exactly.
I think it's just such a great way to find rhythm with yourself, with your day, your lifestyle, and but even just one what you said, where you said you have your own sound and you like to listen to things that other people don't listen to. I do know that you like various genres.
Yeah, I do.
Of course, I know what your tastes are, but I also do know that you have your songs that are like, this is sentimental to me. I listen to this on my own. What would you say genre or sound that is?
My number one?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm going to listen
Where that's
to.
like, yeah, usually like if you're thrown into a cave and let's say this rule persisted, but you were granted a gift where you could actually listen to some music, what would it be?
I'd ask for two. One, I need the record player.
Okay.
And two, just soul music. Just soul music. Because soul music, man, is just like a different type of music. It's like, so it's actually like guys singing about, like, most of them are guys, but it's just like guys singing about like how much they love somebody. I love it.
It's really passionate,
love
really romantic.
songs like that. They just scream in their love to the person that they love so much in their way of showing it.
Exactly.
Just through the music and then you read through the lyrics. They're just really good lyrics and everything like that. And then I don't know, just I feel like I learn something if I know about older music. I don't know. I feel
There's
like
a wisdom to it.
Yeah, I feel like
You were there.
Yeah. that I know, like
Yeah.
that, like that doesn't die with that generation. That like,
Of course.
somebody's gonna know. I know.
It's a record.
Yeah.
Again, no pun intended.
Legit.
Of the times.
Literally a record.
Wow, look at that. I think it's beautiful. I could definitely attest to the passion for soul as well, because I'm a big fan. Mine, my bread and butter is the 80s rock. No way. No, 80s rock. We're talking Styx, Queensryche. Come on, Skid Row, big ballads, big hair. That's what we're
I
talking
literally
about.
don't think anyone. I don't even know what you were saying. Bands. I thought you were just.
Those are bands.
Yeah.
Then.
I gotta know more. See, I don't know all these music genres. I know a couple, but
Maybe there's some, like, you play Journey, you definitely
yeah, Journey.
have a good year for it. But yeah, that's like my bread and butter. That's what I grew up on. No Scream. He tends to think I like the Scream. There's a couple modern songs that are heavy that I do enjoy.
Like Screamo.
No, not Screamo.
What are they? What's that group that you like?
Breaking Benjamin.
Breaking Benjamin.
There you go.
You say the word Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Scream aspect. They actually don't scream much.
Hey, sometimes you have to scream. Marilyn Manson, I think. He's a screamer too.
I believe, yeah.
That's how we.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I've actually never listened to him. I just
You know Beautiful People? No, but Marilyn Manson goes, beautiful people.
I don't like
no.
that.
You know?
I don't even want to get into that.
No,
I don't even want to get into
Really?
that.
You don't know it?
Yeah.
It's like one of his biggest songs. Is not his biggest. I don't know. I don't know much of.
I don't know any. Literally for rock, I'm not gonna know unless like it's so famous because my family doesn't listen to rock. Nobody in my family.
Okay. You growing up?
Nothing.
What'd you listen to?
Reggae, soca music,
disco.
Spanish music, 90s freestyle, like all like Gino beats, like my mom. I actually don't honestly love my mom's taste because I like all the music too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she put me on to a lot of like soca beats and things like that. So
Even like I know my mom says you train Pat Benatar.
okay,
Houston. I'm a big fan as well. These are just behemoths of incredible sound. It's
yeah, going back to that thing, pretty much like it being boring, dude. Like, not even just thinking about like tossing it up to as a booster.
Yeah.
Literally, like, okay, no more clubs. You go to a restaurant.
Yeah, what's going
it's
out like?
boring.
Can you imagine going out and that's it?
No.
You're in a dark room with some dry ice,
Yeah.
some flashing lights, maybe,
what are you
drinks.
doing? If there's no music, it literally creates the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You put this song on, it's this type of, oh, now we're dancing like this. Oh, you put this on, now we're dancing like this.
There we go, bachata.
Yeah, like maybe then they switch it up and it's rap, and now everyone's just jumping and it's like a big group. There we go. You know what I mean? It changes in the club. The people dance depending on how the music's going, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's so different. You need to have music. Like, imagine no music ever, literally ever. You know, not be able to do that.
That's just.
I don't even know how to play an instrument, and I can't sing. I don't even listen to music as much as like really big music people do, and I can't fathom not living with it.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, what?
And even looking at, even not even just maybe in a recreational way, but as a tactile function of understanding the environment, like deaf people,
Yes,
for
exactly.
example, how they still are able to use different sort of tones, different vibrations, of course, to be able to understand their environment. Like their ability to hear is, not literally hear, but I'm saying their ability to pick up these nuances
like
of sound
the sound.
so much more precisely than we can is just, it's remarkable. It's the way that they're able to gauge their environment to communicate as well, right? So can you imagine, like, we're talking music, not even just, again, like what you're listening to on the radio or what you play through the speakers. It's like literally any form of rhythm. And can you imagine that there's no such thing as that? That's just another form of communicating, another form of understanding your, where you are.
Look, think about like Stevie Wonder. Isn't she lovely?
Yeah,
producer.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Literally, he's blind, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on. Look at him able to just...
And play the keyboard, and play piano.
Yeah, that's like, he's very talented.
That's just supreme talent.
Yeah, he's like super, super, super talented, obviously, for that. But like, just in terms of like, for functioning.
Yeah.
Like, that's sick that he can, like, be so good, I guess, at playing music and like be able to sing and everything.
Exactly. And the coordination of it all when you're not able to see an instrument in front of you, and it goes on from, let's say, it's just someone who has any complication where they have one of their senses that is more about a deficit or just completely removed, like in deaf or blind scenarios. It's crazy how music is still such a pertinent form, so pertinent in someone's life that they still use it to interact with other people, to express themselves too, right? It's not just for people who are more fortunate, if you may, who are able to utilize all of their senses, but it's just so necessary. And even just look at sonar itself, dolphins with sonar technology, bouncing vibrations. That's another thing that I've read and seen before, that blind people also use that to understand and engage where the objects are in their environment. It's just vibration. Everything is made up of vibrations, right? So to be able to have a harmony and a rhythm to it all is something that is just, it's part of our soul. I really do. And look at the industries. If you want to take a shift and look at what the industries of music, entertainment itself look like, a lot of it's grounded off music itself. When you look at dance, theater, of course, Broadway, concerts in and of themselves, tracks for movies, like they gave it so much substance. Can you imagine how much economic industry would just be obsolete, would just be completely out of the picture if there was no music?
That'd be an issue.
Absolutely. That would be. Can you imagine no music in any of the movies that you listen to?
Oh no! You either imagine watching a horror film without music. It wouldn't be scary.
It'd be a comedy.
It'd be a comedy because for me, this is what I always think of. Like, they're all friends making a movie.
Yeah.
So it's, to them, they're laughing. So unless you have that eerie type of music,
the way that it's edited with the music on it,
they're literally like a bunch of funniness. It's just comedy.
Yeah, it's just
like
all human.
You know what I mean? So like, you need to have that music, or if it's like a love scene, you need that.
It sets the tone. Literally, look at all these puns. Come on, and it's true. And even just how we interpret it in the Western world rather than maybe in the Eastern world, we have different sounds for different environments, right? So I believe I don't know the actual scale that is being used, but different tones represent more of a happy tone in the Western world that might not represent more of a happy tone in the Eastern world, right? So the way that they related to it culturally and anthropologically, to be able to, again, communicate with the environment, to be able to understand the tendencies and the temperament of the people around them to communicate through their music. It's, look at how powerful chants are. When we have originals with their chanting, with the rituals, music again is such a foundational substance to
Kiwis.
Kiwis.
The Kiwis with the when they do the is it rugby?
Oh, New Zealand. Is it Haka chant? I think.
Haka or something. They do that. I don't know how it's done properly,
Like
but that is unreal. It is. Woo.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's an intimidating. It's supposed to
It
be
is.
intimidating.
It's like intimidating ritual for like it's supposed to be like a war.
Before they play rugby.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's so sick. You gotta watch it if you haven't seen it. Watch. They're called like the White Blacks or something like that, or something Blacks.
Yeah, and then All Blacks.
All Blacks. Yeah. That's it. All Blacks. Ooh.
I think it's called Haka dance.
Yeah,
something like that. Check it out. I apologize if we're not getting the name correct.
Yeah, obviously there. So I'm saying to watch it because it's amazing.
Yeah, truly to see the passion.
It's super like
before a match, and they're a great team as well. So
it's all like matches. Yeah, and I think they're literally. This is the best.
Yeah, they're definitely up there. I think South Africa won the latest Rugby World Cup. But yeah, they're definitely a top tier team. So to be able to see that as kind of their entry onto the field, it's intense even through a screen. But again, touching back upon industry, look at tourism. What tourism would be like without music. So many people visit different cultures, different places around the world to hear their music, to dance to their music. Look at a lot of Latin cultures. Even go to Europe, something that we'd love to do as well, to visit all these different places and immerse ourselves. What's one of the best ways to immerse yourselves? Music and food.
Food, I was gonna say, yeah, food. Yeah.
Music and food is right there. I think they go hand in hand with each other. Can you imagine? That's what I'm curious. Like, what do you think that there would be some sort of substitute? Because I just don't think that. I think it'd be like an itch that we don't know is even there without music.
Yeah, I just feel like if there was no music, it should be excess of like everything else. Like so much eating, so much this, so much like stuff to get you up. That's not like already so quick. You can just put on your headphones for 3 minutes. You're up, you're ready to go.
Music's healthy.
It's healthy instead of having like another coffee or something like that to get you.
That's interesting to think of music that way. It's like a healthy. You're a benefactor of listening to music, of listening to good music.
It is. Wait, you gotta listen to. You could literally just go on Spotify, type in like happy songs, and then listen.
Yeah, or even anything that you personally enjoy.
Or if you like it, yeah, because some people are not gonna like it. Like I said, it's rock. Like it's not gonna get me happy. But if you literally go like type in like happy songs, like these are like I would say probably like tested for bare people, make them actually happy. It's like certain songs that have like it's like just the beats. That's what it is. It's like I'm pretty sure that you can like go into like I don't know what they're called. People who make music, music engineer.
Yes, sir.
And it's just like you can perfect the beat properly. It doesn't matter what the hell the person's saying, as long as the beat's proper for our human ear to hear it. It will be a good song. You could literally just say wasabi,
anything
Toronto, wasabi, Toronto, wasabi, Toronto, wasabi, Toronto, and there's a good beat.
You can make it right now.
Yeah,
there
and it'd be really catchy. Remember that Friday song? I swear that was engineered.
Yeah, all songs are have the mixing and mastering done before they're put out. But yeah, that's another part of the industry as well. Like the equipment, look right here. The equipment that comes out of the just because the music industry, like the GDP of countries. No,
there's doing anything for the GDP.
Yeah, no, this itself isn't definitely isn't the biggest factor, but just to think of, I think when you tie it back to tourism, when you tie it back to, I suppose just bringing people together. When you have people from around the world having different artists, like look at the Super Bowl for example. You have a halftime show which consists of music, right? Anything that you have.
Probably the most popping, or one of the more popping artists at the time. Yeah. It's usually the Super Bowl. Yeah,
exactly. So they definitely have some of the forefront. They had The Weeknd at this year's Super Bowl, which is really man over here doing it up. Well done, Mr. Abel Tesfaye. And
shout out to Ethiopia.
Yes.
He's Ethiopian.
Yeah, I love that. It's incredible stuff. And yeah, like you said, when it comes to the formation of music, as a personal anecdote, I played music my whole life, not professionally. I don't have any stuff out there. I haven't played with a band or anything, but I've been a drummer my whole life, and my whole family's been quite musically inclined, and it's been such a huge part of their life, and they've kind of shared that with me. My dad, for example, he was a drummer his whole life, and he was attempting to go to the big leagues, and he almost made it. He came from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, small little town north of here, a few hours north, and he came to Toronto and with the dream to make it. And he had a band out here. He performed at some of the big clubs. He met some of the top bands that we hear today. I think he met Skid Row, or so a lot of the bands that would have came through here, I suppose. And he ended up going to LA with his band to sign a record deal. I believe he had talks with Universal. I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I do believe that that's who it was with. And yeah, it was pretty wild. And just to give, now retrospectively, we could talk about what their idea was. They wanted to bring a new idea to the scene of music, which was they were calling themselves Cartoon Palace, and they wanted to have actual cartoon versions of themselves animated on stage with them. So as if they were like half cartoon, half human. And when they pitched this to Universal, apparently they liked the idea. However, it was just too costly, and too many upfront costs and cost to transport all the equipment for a band that hasn't even made it yet. So it was a little bit too much of a risk on the part of the record label. However, what they did say was they wanted them to go on tour again and then consider them again, I believe, in a year or so. And the band decided not to because they've already been at it for so many years. They were looking towards either doing this or moving forward into their professional lives. So they kind of just decided to say, look, we gave it a good shot. We got in contact with some great people. It's been a great run. Now let's focus on building a lifestyle. Because you got to remember, even back then, there's still more of a tendency to be like, hey, we're starting a family soon. In our mid-20s, let's say, it's on the horizon. For us in our generation, it very well could be, but I just feel like it's not as pressing of a matter. You don't have our parents like, oh, are you getting married soon? I feel like our parents had their parents being like, what's going on with your lifestyle? So to have it figured out by an earlier age, and that's where we're trying to get rid of that angst, to not have to worry about that, because you don't have to have it figured out right away, just as long as you're doing things for the right reasons. So that's just a little side note there that I hope helps. But for myself, my dad was able to share all that talent with me. I was able to practice throughout the years, and it wasn't even on a strict schedule whatsoever. I just loved to play. Drumming became such a passion of mine again. Like I said at the beginning, music is so huge to just ground me, to just keep me centered and to just, it was a great way to focus, just be present, be there in the moment. And it wasn't there to prove anything to anyone. It wasn't in a competitive way, like have to get better for this or have to make this song by this age. It was nothing at all. I just genuinely enjoyed it. I had such a passion for playing, and to be able to look back and say, oh my gosh, can you imagine that was just taken from your life? It'd be like memories were taken from my life. It'd be like a sense of my own being was taken from my life. Again, these forms of expression or how we self-actualize. So can you imagine music in itself wasn't there? I couldn't fathom that. I really could not. And even, for example, when we're hanging out with one of our buddies, we play music on the speaker. It's such a great way to get in tune, to have a good time, to provide more energy to an environment. So I feel like we're just circulating around this concept of like how baffling it would be without music. So, do you think? Well, even let's say there was music. Do you think that more genres will come out through time, or that genres will just kind of merge into one, as we're seeing a lot of overlay between genres happening today?
Honestly, probably. I don't know. I don't know enough about music, to be honest. Like, I feel like music just changes all the time.
Yep, it's definitely an evolution of it. Do you think
it's just a fluid thing? People have so many opinions on music. I just feel like you have no idea. Like, if 70 years ago they were listening to like swing dancing, like doing stuff like that, like the ballroom stuff, like no one's doing that.
And classic. That's romantic.
If I showed, I think it's stupid. But if I showed you rap back then, you would have been like, "What is this?" This is not music. Or if I showed you like pop now, like 2021 pop back then, this is not music. Yeah. If I showed so many music,
it's such a foreign concept.
They don't know. So to say what's going to be in 70 years, it's fluid. Yeah. It's just going to be different versions. I think we like rap as a society.
I think it's definitely predominant.
And pop and hip hop a lot. R&B is like anymore.
Our age group really tends to gravitate to a lot of hip hop. It's even I remember it becoming more and more prevalent because rap was still fairly underground maybe about 5-10 years ago. I remember started hearing it on the radio though, and that was fairly new.
Yeah.
Like some of our favorite artists, Travis Scott, Tory Lanez, another Toronto man. I started hearing them on the radio maybe up to 5 years ago or so.
Like Drake helped with that.
Oh, Drake was probably a massive catalyst.
Drake was big on that one, but yeah, pretty much like in terms of like concluding with this stuff, like not like if the whole world didn't have music, I just think it would, in my opinion, would be a really, really boring world. I think it'd be like what's in that movie with Kevin Bacon where they're banned from dancing. That's how it would feel like.
I don't know.
Boring. Have some spice. Get your life going. Have a boost.
Have a music boost. That's a healthy way to do it.
Something's wrong with it. Everyone loves it. It's good. It's good medicine for us. That's my take.
Absolutely. I completely agree. What do you think constitutes music? Using anything with a constant beat? Like, what do you think that it is that we gravitate so much towards? Something that's just... Is it movement? I think it's a way for us to... Again, is it something about being immersed and in tune with your environment? Be able to constantly hear something in a continuous way?
Music's like anything.
Exactly. Have you seen the movie August Rush?
I know the movie. I don't know
Great movie. Absolutely spectacular. But there was a scene in there where there was a kid who was so in tune with himself and so musically inclined without any formal teaching. He got out into the streets. He was an orphan. And when he got out into the streets, they were showing how everything was music to his ears. Literally. Of horns and trains and whatever else it was that you would hear in like a New York City street, and everything was music to him. So that's what I'm curious. Like
everything is music. That's what I mean. Like it's fluid. Music in general is fluid. So to say like anything, like to put any opinion onto music, if something's fluid, you can't have an opinion. Like every opinion is real.
It's all valid.
It could be that.
It's a complete interpretation.
Yeah, however you think of it, however you feel.
And how your brain literally interprets it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's interpreting the vibrations.
So it's anything and everything.
Yeah, it's
especially now with rap. They put like you just clip like splash, blim, do. You know what I mean? They make noises.
Yeah.
Like Migos does that. Like
the ad-libs and everything.
Press a button, splash, like stuff like that.
Straight up.
It's lit. It works. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would just say anything's music. What is going to be in 100 years? Everything and anything. The things that we really, really love. Hopefully they stay on, and then we can bring it into the future. Whatever dies with history, dies with history. Like that's life. You know what I mean? Whatever songs don't come to 2100 or what genre
time away.
But whatever genres do stay, they stay. And if you really like that genre, keep it. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Give it to your kids. Make that genre keep going. That's how soul's still going.
Exactly. Yeah, you continue it forward.
Who's making soul beats anymore except like Leon Bridges, who I have his album.
Oh.
But like anybody else from Leon Bridges? No, not really. It's all from like 40s, 50s, 60s. But again, we all know those people because they're like Hall of Famers in music.
Well, it just goes to beg the question of what makes us develop that affinity towards music. Like, why is that particular music something that we gravitate towards if it's shown that people of a certain time are more prone to listening and enjoying that music at a certain time? It's not like it's very scattered where you see a lot of people that you meet nowadays listen to music from the 40s. And, like, it's more of a rare occurrence when you hear people when they literally listen to music from decades and decades and decades ago, right? So a lot of people have this attunement, I guess you could say, towards the music of today, even though there's a lot of pushback of music today because a lot of it is synthetic and is has a layer of is a little bit fabricated. But there's no issue with that. I think we can leverage that technology to make music even better sometimes and to create new sounds, as we've seen with stuff like techno and even with pop today. So there's no there's nothing negative towards it. But I just feel like there is some pushback there, and that's why people have shown to want to listen to more authentic forms where there is real instruments. I find that that's a big argument for people is like, well, this has real instruments, and you're hearing violin, guitar, real vocals that haven't been altered in any way. So do you think that we're just going to continue getting more synthetic as we go on, or do you think, what do you think it's going to take to preserve real instruments?
Literally, not even to respond to that, literally, I just tell to somebody, mind your business. Someone likes that type of music, let them listen to that. It's out in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to listen to fake music, synthetic music, listen to it, people. Listen to it. Like
Exactly.
Justin Bieber and
if it
stuff like
speaks
that.
to you,
Yeah,
that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
It doesn't have to be 1910 symphony to think you're like you know music. No. You can listen to just like 2021 music from the radio. Good music.
That's why music is so cultural, because people generally, enjoy the music of their time.
Yeah.
So with that, it just goes to show that there's an element of memory, as we've previously spoken of, to music. There's an element of community that we've also spoken of with music. So that it literally brings people together. So I feel like it's also a remnant of the experiences that you've had and that you wish to have with the music that you listen to, right? Even when you think of people trying to be cool, for example, as kids, they might tap into music that they find the cool kids listening to, right? Music has been another way to interact with people, or to create an identity for yourself. And that's something that I find really interesting, that I want to talk about with rap music. Is I wasn't the biggest on rap music growing up, and then I started getting into it in high school, as we were saying. And then there's definitely some artists that I'm a huge fan of, like I said, Travis Scott, Tory Lanez, Drake, are definitely up there as some of my favorite that I could listen to consistently. However, what I find that's extremely unique about rap, and I always thought about that, because I love harmonies, I love melodies. I know, so to hear like a hard rap on a beat never was as enticing to me. It's grown on me over time, but something that I find is incredibly attractive about it is the conviction it has on your sense of self. Like when you listen to something big, and you're like no other genre hits something like, yes, that's me. Like
listening to X,
let's do it. Yeah, something that's really like there's conviction, like there's an ownership to it. There's something. Even this is just a small side note, but Roddy Ricch, when he talks about got to put the stars in the ceiling, right? When he in the song Big Stepper, just it's so enticing. Like, okay, yes, let's get it going here. Let's do things, right? Let's explore life, and with a sense of like no one's getting in my way, right? Now, of course, you don't want to promote any type of negativity towards that, but I find that rap is incredibly unique in that form. Just removing the musicality itself aside, when you think of just the actual lyricism, or just the sense of bringing about different emotions, rap does that really, really, really
rap
well.
Rap makes you feel like you're the shit.
Yeah.
Which you are. But literally, that's what it is.
But just don't take it overboard.
Take it wherever you want. I'm not going to tell you how to...
No, I'm saying being that you're not like affecting other people, and saying, and thinking that you have all this hubris, and you're affecting other people.
We're taking it too far here.
That's what I meant.
All I'm saying here is be confident. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not this big thing here. So pretty much, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just what you want with the music there is like it makes you confident. It makes whatever it is. Like music, I feel is especially for rap, it will make you feel like that. So that's why I can't listen to sad music anymore. I used to always listen to sad music in high school. This is before anything bad happened in my life, or something you could say is bad, right? Like, so I would listen to sad music. I had nothing to be sad about ever. So nothing never clicked onto me like I could, like, this actually hurts my heart or something like that. I just love the way,
what
like,
you think it meant.
John Legend sings, like, but then you put on like a sad song now, and like as life goes on and things happen, you will be able to take that song and put it to a memory, and that's when things will happen. But it's just so funny how, like, back in the day, I could listen to a sad song, nothing happened at all, and now it could just change completely after just being life happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, messages are spread through music, right? And that's what's so unique about music itself, is there's an ambiguity to it, because a lot of times with artists, even let's say in pop, there's not always a direct message that's being spoken through a song, and the interpretation is so of the essence there, and that's where you get this really unique element of, like, what the topic of the song is, but everyone relates to it in their own way, and I really am interested in that from a messaging, because then people can adopt it and reflect on it in their own way that's relevant to their lives while still having a centralized meaning to something, to the topic, let's say. So for those of you who may not have picked up instruments before, I find it such a great solace for the self, a great way to spend your time even. I think it's a really healthy way to go about your day, to utilize some of your time to share things with others, to create with others, and just even picking up a guitar, something maybe that you have around the house, something that you can use to make a little bit of a beat on, and just take it from there. Don't have any fear, any worry about how good you have to be by a certain time. There's not like just completely remove that from the act of playing. Just play to enjoy it, play to genuinely learn what it means to play an instrument. And again, being that this is something that you like to do, I just find it for myself is such a great form of expression, and it's it really gets people together. So even if you decide not to, listening and playing and sharing the music that you hear is just as powerful. So have at it.
Yeah, definitely. Keep up with the music. But yeah, pretty much what we were saying is, we need music for our life, for the small things, like to get up maybe in the morning, like that little extra boost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a coffee, music to make money, all the things that it's done, and for functions. There's so many things that that we use music for. It's such a valuable commodity for us.
It is.
We should make a coin. What we should do is we should make a music coin there.
That
would be just like a world.
Yeah.
A world. Everyone. We're all.
I love that.
We're all on that. On different instruments.
Yeah, exactly.
All different like that. But yeah, just all different things, man. With
love
music.
it.
Music's amazing. Pretty much, yeah. I just want everyone to know. We're gonna keep going on with this new format here, and with this new, facility that we're in for the next, future.
Studio.
Keep listening to, our videos. Hopefully you are, and check every single week. We're gonna keep posting and have clips as well. So definitely want people to be listening to those as well, and hopefully you love the information that we provide.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Anything else to say?
Thank you. Well, we hope you enjoy it. Please feel free to reach out and let us know what topics you'd like us to speak about.
Yeah,
so,
that's huge.
So share your insights on it as well, please. We'd love to hear your takes, your perspectives on it. Some personal experiences would be huge as well. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody.